G'day everyone and welcome to another Makita update.
It's HiKOKI!
What?
It's HiKOKI, not Makita, or also known as Metabo HPT in the States.
Oh yeah, today we're actually looking at HiKOKI, not Makita. This is the first HiKOKI update news thingy that I've ever done, and as somebody just yelled out, HiKOKI is Metabo HPT if you are in the US. I'm not going to go into the whole reason why it's called Metabo HPT, but if you want to know about that, take a look at this video up here or down in the description. So how this is going to work is I'm going to look at some new tools that have come out in the last sort of 6 months. I'm not quite as up to date as the Makita stuff, so I've got to catch up a bit, right? So I've got to go back a bit and I'll show you a bunch of stuff that you may not have seen. Starting with this has been around quite a while now, but still not available in most of the world. I'm not even sure if it's available outside of Japan yet. So if you want one of those, if you're interested in one of those, then there will be an affiliate link down in the description. But what is it, you ask? Well, it is a little mini blower. It is so light and it is just passing across my desk as it is on its way to the South Island of New Zealand. And I have done a review on this, which will be up in the top corner and down in the description as well. And even though it's 18 volt, it also runs, of course, on 36 volt. By it runs on 36 volt, I mean it runs on multi-volt batteries. It's actually still only using 18 volts, but this battery, of course, will fit on a 36 volt tool as well, as I'm sure most of you watching will be aware of. Now, they've recently changed the batteries. The batteries look a lot better now, in my opinion. These ones look a little bit cheap. They were they just look like they were rushed out. Whereas the newer ones are much nicer and look like this. And there's also a Bluetooth model. There is a Bluetooth model of this battery as well. But the new ones, you can get the Bluetooth so that you can have apps which change, not that one, but this one, you can change the different settings down here. So you've got more torque, change the lights, all sorts of shit like that. And why is it a funny color? Well, in Japan they make different colored ones, and they have released these in some markets. They released them here in New Zealand, often called JDM tools. That stands for Japanese Domestic Market. And there's 4 or 5 different colors that were available, and there's also like other ones in Japan that you can't get anywhere else still as well, like this one, which is kind of a neat color. And yeah, I quite like that one. Wouldn't mind getting that one. It's got the new battery on it there. Looks quite good. Right, I've got a lot to get through here, so let's whack up some tools on the screen here and take a look. This is the DS18DDQ installation driver. This is an 18 volt installation driver with 4 heads, a drill attachment, an impact driver attachment, an offset impact driver attachment, and a right angle attachment that you can attach the drill or the impact driver attachment to. Lots of companies are offering this type of installation driver these days. This one, a little bit low on the numbers. I'm guessing these numbers are for the drill, not the impact side of things, with a hard torque setting of 55 Newton meters and soft torque of only 26 Newton meters. That's pretty damn low when you consider top drills are doing 3 times that these days. Has a max RPM of 1700 and should be rolling out in a lot of regions pretty soon. But if you're interested in any of these tools at any point, I will try and put affiliate links down in the description if I can find any. You're going to have to get some of these tools from Japan because they won't be available anywhere else yet. So if you want them quick, that's where you got to get them. Next up, the DH3640DA and DB rotary hammer drills. The DB is a hex shaft and the DA is an SDS max shaft. As well as rotary hammers, there's also a new pair of demolition hammers. So these are only rated at 6.8 joules, which is a little bit disappointing. I have seen other numbers up to 10 joules, so I'm not sure which one's correct. If it's 6.8, that's considerably lower than the Makita equivalent, which is 9.4 joules. And weight-wise, the Makita is only 200 grams heavier, but once again, there's a lot of numbers on the weight all over the place on the internet that I've found. So the HiKOKIs weigh anywhere between 4.8 and 6.1 kgs, depending on where you look. But they're nice, compact-looking tools. I mean, if you can chip away with that and do some decent work with a tool that's that short, that's pretty nice. Next up, this mid-torque impact wrench is a nice unit. I've seen one of these. The WR36DE half-inch square drive impact wrench. and it has a max tightening torque of 630 Newton meters and a loosening torque of 900 Newton meters. It's a good sized tool, good sort of all round, good for so many things. I like a good mid-torque wrench. It makes use of the Bluetooth battery as well, so you can use it with an app on your phone, so you can change the speed, the lights, the auto stop time when you are taking a nut off, that sort of thing. So that's a pretty nice mid-torque impact wrench that I might have to get my hands on. Next up, we've got a dust extractor that you might want to use with that rotary hammer that you saw just a moment ago. So this is the RP18DA, an 18 volt over the shoulder style vac that you can use as a dust extractor or a wet dry vac. It weighs about 4.9 kgs with a battery, and there's an L class model and a standard HEPA filter style model. Not quite as compact and elegant as some rotary hammer drilling systems for dust extraction. You know, it's a bit cumbersome, but it's got plenty of capacity, of course. If you're doing a lot of drilling, could come in handy. Next up, a style of tool that I like a lot. It is the C1805DB. So this is the 18 volt version of a 36 volt tool you might have seen on this channel. Here it is here. If you want to see the full review, it's up in the top corner and down in the description. It is a 125mm circular saw that has the front come off the base. What? Why would the front come off? Just pretend for a moment that this says HiKOKI and not Makita, because I no longer have the HiKOKI one that was in this video that's up in the top corner. I was just borrowing it. But this tool is the same. So it bevels the traditional way, like so. But not only that, by flicking a little lever here, it can bevel the other way. So now you can bevel up to 15 degrees on a reverse angle, and then combine that with taking the front off the thing. That's right, you could call it the side, I guess, depending on how you want to look at your circular saw. This comes off, and now you can bevel hard up against a wall. Boom. Cut out floorboards. Absolutely brilliant. A great renovation tool if you're cutting out rotten floors or anything. This is a must-have. It sure as hell beats the daylights out of using a multi-tool or a reciprocating saw like people do, and it does a far cleaner job, far quicker. Brilliant design. And now HiKOKI have an 18 volt version as well as a 36 volt. From little saws now up to big saws, the C3612DRA 305mm or 12-inch miter saw has a top RPM of 4000 and drops to 3200 when it kicks into high torque mode if it needs it. It weighs around 24.5 kgs, which is about 5 kgs lighter, I do believe, than the Makita 300mm miter saw. But the cutting capacity not quite as long as the Makita, although I've seen some numbers saying it cuts to 120 deep by 180 wide, which is very deep cut for any circular saw. If they've managed to get 120, that's pretty cool. But they've listed the maximum cut as 107 by 312. I haven't seen any number higher than 312, whereas the equivalent Makita can get up to 382, for instance. It comes with a shadow line rather than a laser, which is always nice on miter saws because the lasers are a bit sucky. Right, what about a tire inflator, the UP18DA? This is a 160 psi or 11 bar or 1100 kPa tire inflator. Not just a tire inflator though, of course you can use it for inflating balls and I don't know, other stuff. It has a flow rate between 14 litres a minute and 430 litres a minute. It can run on 14.4 volt batteries, 18 volt batteries, or a 12 volt cigarette lighter socket. And it's about time HiKOKI added one of these to their lineup. Speaking of other things that are about time, what about this? Some storage boxes that are not based on the Sustainer style like they have done in the past and Makita have done and Festool. These are more along the lines of Pack Out from Milwaukee. There's not a huge range of them yet. There's sort of about 3 or 4 different size boxes, I do believe. And there's a few other little attachments and things you can put in them. Will they build it up to something like Milwaukee's Pack Out? Well, only time will tell. Oh, I almost forgot. There's also a new metal cutting saw, a CD1805DB. This is an 18 volt, 135mm to 150mm blade. Take your pick. Chuck one of those somewhere in that range on there, and you've got a cold cut metal saw. I love metal circular saws. They are very cool. Got a chip collector there on the top. Very nice and compact. Good little sized unit. Now that's pretty much all I've got to say for this HiKOKI update. I whacked through them pretty quick because there was quite a lot of them to get done. I haven't actually gotten to some of the other things I was going to tell you about, well, like the angle drill. Let's have a quick look at that. That's the angle drill there. Took them a long time to get one of these out, but finally they have done it. I haven't used one of those yet. Well, I have, but only at a show. And I didn't get around to telling you about the 36 volt battery system, the new 36 volt battery system from HiKOKI. Are they going to do it? Who knows? Ooh. They are looking at doing a 36 volt only range of batteries. So I don't know if that's because they're not able to get enough out of these. And I mean, this is their biggest battery, which is pretty small compared to Makita, for instance. This is the equivalent of a 4 amp hour 36 volt battery. So Makita make batteries double the size of that, and now with far better cells that put out a lot more power than these old batteries do. So maybe they're going to make a 36 volt system where they can really ramp up the battery size to compete with XGT for the really large tools. Because as of yet, HiKOKI have not done any 36 volt times 2 tools like Makita do, so maybe they're going to try and compete in that market, and that market now also has, of course, MX Fuel, same voltage, 72 volts, and DeWalt have just launched their new range as well. So HiKOKI are lagging a bit behind on that the real big stuff, the real construction-y industrial type tools that you need a bit more pep for. And I was also going to tell you about all the range of other companies that are now using multi-volt batteries. There is quite a lot coming on board. A lot of them, probably most of them, maybe all of them, you've never heard of, but they are trying to do a sort of multi-platform system, multi-brand system like Bosch have just started doing as well. And of course Metabo started with the CAS system, which is, yes, the same company as HiKOKI now. So it's kind of confusing, I know, with the two different companies with different names and sharing a lot of the same tools now, but having a different battery system, yet both wanting to do a battery system that other companies can use. Anyway, so if I go into all of that, this video is going to get way too long, and I don't want it to be too long for the first one. So let me know down below if you like this style of video. Let me know if you want to see more HiKOKI updates, whether you want regular HiKOKI updates like I do with the Makita videos. And if you did like it, please hit that like button. It'll help me make more of these videos. So thanks for watching. Subscribe button's down there somewhere too. And thanks to all these people that's names are coming up the side here. They help me make these videos. If you want to be one of those people, then take a look down there for Patreon. That's where you can help support the channel and make more of these videos and do them a bit more often. Thanks guys for watching, and I will see you on another video of some sort soon. Tools out. Whoa. Hold the video. I've got another couple of things to tell you. Now, I've known about the one I'm about to tell you for a couple of weeks, but there wasn't any decent images, so I was going to hold that out to the next update, but HiKOKI have now officially released it, so I can tell you about that. And the other one, I ummed and ahed about whether I was going to put it in the video or not, because it's a pretty Japanese design. It's only ever going to be released in Japan the way it is. So I didn't bother, but I like the look of it and I want to stick it on the thumbnail, so I better put it in the video. So here we go. First up, the new WH36DD impact driver. They've released another impact driver. It's a triple hammer like the other ones. This is the top of the line flagship impact driver, available in 5 colors, as you can see on screen. 111 millimeters long, so it's 3 millimeters shorter than the last one. So woohoo. It's almost got a ring light. As you can see, it's got 3 lights that don't quite go all the way around, but basically acts like a ring light. We've got backlit buttons as well down the bottom, which the last one did not have. And you can change the settings on those buttons with the Bluetooth app, as long as you've got a Bluetooth battery on the tool. As soon as I can get my hands on one of these, I will review it and put it up against the previous model that I showed you at the beginning of this video. And the other tool is this compressor. Now, it's a hybrid compressor, AC-DC compressor. It's a hybrid AC-DC compressor. And that doesn't mean that you can run it on batteries or AC like you might think. It is an AC tool that you can give a boost to with batteries. So basically, in Japan, they have 100 volts. That's what they run on. It's a bit low. So 100 volts at 15 amps, max they can do. So that's only 1500 watts of power, not a lot for a lot of tools, but with a battery, put a battery onto this as well as the AC, and you can get up to 2000 watts. So in this neck of the woods, on our standard circuits in our house, we can run 2400 watts, no problem. That's 240 volt at 10 amps. If you've got a 15 amp circuit, you can bump that up to 3600 watts. But in Japan, it's a little low, so they've come up with this design to be able to make electric stuff more powerful by just adding a battery pack to it. Now it has 4 tanks, as you can see, adding up to 16 litres, and it's got a rather Japanesey control. Look at this LED screen here. So I don't think this will be available, certainly not in this configuration anywhere else in the world, but I thought you'd be interested in seeing it because it is quite a cool, funky looking thing. Anyway, thanks for sticking around for this extra little tidbit of information at the end, and cheers. If you want to see another one of these, make sure you like it and subscribe, and I'll see you later.